British MPs have rejected possible UK military action against Syria and President Bashar al-Assad's government to deter the use of chemical weapons. A government motion was defeated by 285 to 272, a majority of 13 votes.
Let's be clear, no decision about military action has been taken. If you agree to the motion I've set down, no action can be taken until we have heard from the UN weapons inspectors, until there's been further action at the United Nations and another vote in this House. Those are the conditions that we, the British government, the British Parliament are setting, and I think it's absolutely right that we do so.
Thank you. The ayes to the right, 220. The noes to the left, 332. So the noes have it, the noes have it.
The defeat comes as a potential blow to the authority of David Cameron, who had already voted down a government motion proposing military action in response to Labour's demands for more evidence of President Assad's guilt. Shortly after the vote in London, Defence Secretary Philip Hammond confirmed that Britain would not be involved in any military action against the Assad government. But he said he expected that the US and other countries will continue to look at responses to the chemical attack. Prior to the vote, Britain dispatched 6 RAF Typhoon air-to-air interceptor jets to its base in Cyprus. Cyprus is just 100 kilometers from the Syrian coast. Britain also has warships in the Mediterranean. Over the past week, the United States has also been repositioning its resources around Syria, including moving destroyers like the USS Mahan. It is also staging aircraft at its military base in the neighboring Turkey. Meanwhile, reports have emerged that Russia is to dispatch 2 warships to the East Mediterranean. The Interfax news agency quoted a source in the Russian Armed Forces General Staff as saying Russia, Syria's most powerful ally, was deploying the missile cruiser Moskva from the Black Sea Fleet and the large anti-submarine ship Varyag from the Northern Fleet in the coming days. Russia's Chief of Staff said in June the Navy had stationed 16 warships and 3 ship-based helicopters in the Mediterranean, its first permanent naval deployment there since the Soviet times.
Japan has restarted tests on its maglev train system. The maglev train uses technology which allows the train to float above the magnetic train track, reducing friction and allowing it to reach speeds in excess of 580 kilometers per hour.
This is the first test of Japan's experimental magnetic levitation train in 2 years. The test track's been doubled in length to nearly 43 kilometres. Its developers say the design's also been upgraded for better aerodynamics and cabin space. The train, which floats above the track on magnets, is intended to travel at up to 581 kilometres an hour. Japan's transport minister was among the guests at a ceremony marking the start of the latest tests on Thursday. The train's due to go into service in 2027 at a cost of more than $61 billion. It'll slash the 360-kilometre journey time between Tokyo and Nagoya by an hour. The plan is to extend the line to Osaka by 2045. The technology is also being promoted for a proposed route linking Washington and Boston in the US.
Well, on a lighter note, crowds flocked to Valencia's Fenias today for the annual Tomatina Festival.
They look like they're mortally wounded and lying in a sea of blood, but they're not. It's Tomatina, the annual tomato fight in Buñol in eastern Spain, which attracts around 20,000 people and 130 tons of tomatoes. Add heavy rain to all that ripe fruit and you get tomato sauce. Authorities limited the numbers this year, citing safety concerns. For the first time, non-locals had to buy tickets to participate in the usually free event. Past years saw more than double the amount of revelers packing the streets.
This year there was more space, many more tomatoes, and people had more space.
Tomatina's origin is disputed, but most agree it began around 1940, in the early years of General Franco's dictatorship. Or perhaps that's just pulp fiction.
Taking a look at sports, Rafael Nadal of Spain eased into the third round of the US Open with a 6-2, 6-1, 6-love win over Brazil's Rogerio Dutraseva in New York yesterday.
Nadal, champion in 2010, broke the 29-year-old serve twice in the opening set to take it in 33 minutes. After Dutraseva held serve at the start of the second set, Nadal, the second seed, ran away with the match, winning the next 12 games, a complete victory in just 92 minutes. Nadal will face Ivan Dodig of Croatia in the third round after he defeated Nikola Davydenko of Russia in straight sets. Sara Errani became the highest seed to be knocked out of this year's US Open when she suffered a surprise 6-3, 6-1 loss to Flavia Pennetta. Errani, seeded fourth for the women's singles, was sent packing after just 71 minutes by her fellow Italian in a second-round match at Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Game, set and match, Pennetta. By 2 sets to love, 6-3, 6-1.
Serena Williams took another emphatic step in defense of her title by crushing Galina Voskobova of Kazakhstan 6-3, 6-love. The top-seeded American took a short while to get accustomed to breezy conditions on Arthur Ashe Stadium court before winning 10 of the last 11 games in a 69-minute rout. Roger Federer, the five-time US Open champion, needed just 95 minutes to dispatch Argentina's Carlos Balog 6-3, 6-2, 6-1. The Swiss master is seeded 7th after slipping in the rankings while hampered by injury and is on a collision course to meet world number 2 Rafael Nadal of Spain in the quarter-finals. Meanwhile, 4th-seeded David Ferrer quickly closed out his match after dropping a set to reach the third round. The Spaniard beat compatriot Roberto Bautista Agut 6-3, 6-7, 6-1, 6-2. British qualifier Dan Evans continued his remarkable run by beating Australia's Bernard Tomic to reach the third round. After dumping out 11th seed Kei Nishikori in round 1, Evans followed up with a 1-6, 6-3, 7-6, 6-3 win.
3 sets to 1, 1-6, 6-3, 7-6, 6-3.
Well, that's a wrap for this edition of Lunchtime News. Please do join us again for all the latest on Live at 55.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback